Hi everyone, my name is Ryan, and today we'll be taking a quick tour of ConvoStack, which is a better way to add custom AI assistants to your website. What makes ConvoStack different is that it's completely open source. All front and back end components, as you see here, are pre-built, and setup only takes a few minutes. For this tutorial, we'll be creating this chatbot you see here, which lets you ask any question you want about the Resident Advisor Guide support website, which is a popular live event ticketing service. As you can see, if we ask a basic question, like how do I get a refund on my tickets, the Resident Advisor Support bot will generate a response based off the content of the actual support website. So, now that we have all that out of the way, let's get started. First, we want to clone our ConvoStack Playground monorepo, which already comes with example AI models and a website for testing. Since I've already cloned the Playground repo, we can continue to the next step. Following the directions of the README file we provide, we have to install our dependencies as well as set up our environment variables. So let's do that. Copying the command npm install will install all dependencies that you need for the repo. The next step we want to do is setting up our environment variables. We provide an example.env file, which we can simply copy to a new file with the following command right here. First, cd into the backend folder, and then copy the .env example to a new .env file. Opening up the backend folder in the apps directory, we can now find the .env file. The main variables we want to pay attention to here are the ones that configure the OpenAI as well as the Pinecone database. Let me enter these in and then we'll be right back. All right, after entering the OpenAI API keys as well as the Pinecone keys, we can now move on to setting up the backend database. One of the cool things about ConvoStack is how easy it is to get a backend database up and running, which allows you to store message history and data about your users. All we have to do is run this migration command and we have our SQLite database ready to go. So let's do that. As a side note, ConvoStack also supports MySQL and Postgres databases if you prefer. Now that all that is set up, we can now train our custom AI assistant, which will answer questions about any website we choose. In this case, we pick Resident Advisor's support website. For storing embeddings, like I mentioned previously, we're using Pinecone, and for creating the agent, we use LangChain and OpenAI's API. Now, the last step is creating our custom AI assistant, which will answer questions about any website we choose. In this case, we picked Resident Advisor's support website. For storing embeddings, we are using Pinecone, and for creating the agent, we use LangChain and OpenAI's API. Luckily, when we cloned our Playground monorepo earlier, we already have the code to train this model, which can be found in the package.json file in the backend folder. However, we simply need to change the URL of the website we want our AI model to train on, as well as whether we want to summarize on demand. For this example, we'll turn summarization on, and we also want to set the agent name, which we'll call RA Guide Support Bot. Here you can find the npm run command script for actually training the agent with Pinecone and OpenAI. So let's type this into our terminal. npm run load docs -- crawl, as we want to crawl the website data for the actual content on the site. Keep in mind that because we're using Cheerio to crawl the web page during the AI training process, we are not rendering the pages, but rather directly reading the HTML content of the site, which we can check with View Page Source by right-clicking. Here we can check, going on the Support RA website, that when we view page source, we do in fact see the content of the site, so the site is okay to crawl. After typing in the crawl command, we want to type in the URL. So let's go to URLs and copy and paste. We also want to set a crawl limit, which limits the amount of links that the crawler can go to. In this case, we want to crawl the entire site as it's not very big, and we'll set that to 1,000. And finally, for should summarize, we want to set that to true. For our agent name, each time you create your own crawler agent with Pinecone and OpenAI, you want to set this to a new one so vectors don't interfere with each other when we're querying our vector database. So let's set this to RA Guide Bot. And that is all we have, and we can now press enter to run it. After some waiting, we now have our custom AI assistant ready to go. So let's add it to ConvoStack. We can do this by opening the source folder in the backend folder, agents, and then going to index.ts. If you scroll through, you can see the example agents we provide, such as the default agent, which is an OpenAI ChatGPT bot, an Echo agent, conversational retrieval Q&A, as well as the LangChain Pinecone chat QA. Because we want to modify this not for ConvoStack docs, but we want to use our newly generated RA Guide bot, we can change the namespace right here by just simply typing RA Guide bot, and let's also change the display name to Resident Advisor Support Bot. We also allow you to change the primer, which is the intro message the bot will send before any message is sent by the actual user. For this, let's type something out. Finally, now that all that's done, we can run the npm run command from the root of folder. We can do this simply by doing cd ... and we're back in the root. And now let's run npm run dev. Now we can see that if we copy and paste this URL, localhost 5173, enter it here, we have our own local version of the playground running, which has access to our chat widget right here, as well as the embeddable chat component. We can now view our RA Guide Resident Advisor Support Bot simply by going to the drop-down menu and selecting it. Here you can see the primer that we entered, and let's enter an example question. And there we go, a response based off the Resident Advisor support website generated within minutes. The great thing about ConvoStack is that you can add unlimited agents as you want, powered by LangChain. You also have commands on the side to provide context, to actually modify the responses itself, custom controls to toggle the widget, as well as the embeddable chat component. Thank you guys for listening, and feel free to start our repo to support open source AI projects. Link of the GitHub is in the description. Thank you.